Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 8 Pan-European destroyer Öland. And while I really struggled with this ship when I first got it, it was during one of the early release, um, well, I'm not exactly sure what to even call it. We'll say reasonably recent roll out a ship line by allowing you to get some mid-tier ships in that line for free. And if you want to spend money on loot boxes, you can get the higher tier ships. Anyhow, I picked this one up as a part of one of those when they rolled out this line. Those of you who have been playing for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you may be a little bit lost. And if you are, feel free to ask questions below and I'll do the best I can to answer them. I have to say that I am so happy that Wargaming addressed the bug, the UI bug that was introduced in update 10.5 that would basically require me to go in and manually set some of the things that would provide you information that I want you to have. For example, the colored rectangles on either the left and right upper portions of your screen there. I was having to do that manually for quite a while, all of my replays. So it's really nice, since this is the first replay that I've made since update 0.10.8 rolled out, to see that they address that. Now, the Öland. I really struggled with this because I wasn't sure how to play the ship. You know, I consider myself kind of a DD main, although I do play a little bit of everything. So I thought I would really do well with this, but you know, the lack of smoke and just kind of the way these ships are designed is a little bit different. You've only got you got 4 barrels, 2 barrels in 2 different turrets. But they reload really fast. But if you lose a turret, you lose half of your gunpowder. So there's that. The torpedoes, well, you can see they have a really narrow spread, and then they have a wide spread that's actually more like a regular spread on most destroyer lines. That allows you to potentially land more torpedoes on target. And these torpedoes, the way that I've got this configured, these torpedoes right now are running at 80 knots. They're really fast and they reload quickly. So you'll see I'm going to throw some torpedoes out here on this North Carolina, and you can see the reload's only 1 minute and 10 seconds. And they are screaming. Now you get to the Öland and the Holland, and you can get the torpedoes even faster, but 80 knots is pretty darn fast. I was really surprised in this game that I was able to secure this cap. Taking a look at the matchmaking, which normally I do first, but not in this case. There is a CV on the other team, but he's been busy elsewhere. The fact that there were no aircraft here was a huge plus for me. And you can see that there's a Balti there, but he's a little too far away. And I'll just try and do my best to stay out of his radar range, while I hope to see some torpedoes land in that North Carolina. But you can see he's slowed down. He's turning in just a hair. So I won't be landing anywhere near as many as I had hoped. Maybe I will land one. And I'll just hope for a flood. Well, I did get the flood, so that means if he repairs that, anybody that gets him burning with HE can watch him burn for a while. Now, the particulars of the ship, I'll cover that you know, as we watch the early going of this game. Everything on the ship is fully upgraded. I'll start there, and I'll tell you the upgrades that I have on the ship. I went with main armaments mod 1, engine room protection, aiming systems mod 1, propulsion mod 1, and concealment mod 1. Now why? Well, main armament, you've only got 2 turrets. You got to make sure they survive. Engine room protection, even if you have the commander skill that allows you to continue to move and maneuver when your engines or rudder are out, that can still cripple you to the point where you can end up losing your ship. So this is a really nice plus. Aiming system mod, well, while the ship has really fun torpedoes, I have discovered that, at least for me, the ship also does reasonably well with the guns, and having a little bit better accuracy, which already was decent, is a nice thing. Propulsion mod, because your rudder shift is already really good, and you may find yourself needing to accelerate and move in a hurry. And then concealment mod to get your detection down as low as possible. And that North Carolina, he's gone. All right, so that's the upgrades. And at this point, the good guys are down 2 ships. We've lost a Lion and a Shimakaze. Bad guys have lost that North Carolina that I just sank, and it looks like that Balti's probably in trouble. And down he goes. Okay, now I will post up. It'll probably be the thumbnail for the replay, but I'll post up the commander so you can see that. But I'll go over that with you. Preventive maintenance, last stand, survivability expert. That's how I've got the 16,900 HP when the base for the upgraded is a bit less than that. And then concealment expert to get your concealment down to a very nice 5.8 kilometers. Now, beyond that, and I think you can probably take these in any order, adrenaline rush. As you take damage, your torpedoes and your guns will reload faster. Fearless brawler to get your reload time down even more. And main battery and AA expert, which extends your range on your guns by another 20%. And that's how I've got the 12.1 kilometer range on the guns. Now, I have to say that, there's an argument to be made for keeping the range at a lower number. But this ship is not all that large, and it's relatively speedy, fairly maneuverable, and this kind of range, as our Johan de Witt takes out the enemy Kagero. Bad guys are now down 4 ships, we're down 3. I find the extra range to be really nice, and in fact, setting up the commander the way that I have it, which is also what I run on my Småland. Now for Holland, I have a different commander spec. And that Kleber, he's in big trouble. Now our gearing, I have to say, Derail 24, you did a great job here. You helped keep the cap. Lost my train of thought there. Okay, so some particulars about the guns. Max damage on the HE shells is 1700. AP shells, well, it's not going to matter. You're going to find yourself using almost always AG. And they can do a pretty good job because of the really fast reload. Now you'll see here in a minute when I start using the guns that the reload is pretty darn good. And, it's a base of 2.5 seconds. And, it just gets better from there. So the torpedoes, I told you they run at 80 knots. They reload really fast. They have a 12-kilometer range. They hit for a maximum damage of 10,700, which is not great. That's actually the widespread on these torpedoes. But with these torpedoes, because you're reloading, and especially once you start taking a little damage and stuff with adrenaline rush, you can get these down where they're reloading about once every minute. Now here's an opportunity to see what the guns can do. So you can see the reload on the guns is about 2 seconds at this point. And it's putting out a lot of shells. So you can double that and say I'm putting out 8 shells every 4 seconds, 16 shells every 8 seconds. And while I'm not able to finish off the Holland, I think I will be. And the torpedoes that I threw out there ahead of the Pommern do connect. And in 15 seconds, 13 seconds, torpedoes will be back up, just in time for me to round this corner and try and catch this Holland. Now at this point, things are looking really good for the good guys. We've only lost 5 ships. The bad guys are down to 5 ships. I think I've covered most of the important aspects of the ship at this point. We talked about speed, we talked about the guns, we talked about HP. Now we can just focus on the game. Now I'm just going to be able to shred this Holland. He's got his guns pointed the wrong way. Now he swung them around, but it's too late. Why he didn't accelerate here, I do not understand. Well, I guess because he ran into the island. But that's it for him. Maybe I'll catch the Yamato. If I do, I have to hope for a flood. If I can get him flooding, then maybe he burns for a while. I'm hoping he's got AP loaded. I think I might catch him with one. No. He does have AP loaded. If he's savvy, he'll switch to HE. But either way, I'm going to see if I can get another fire going here. See if I can catch one on the bow somewhere. Nope. And my reload after taking damage is down to 1.9 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and heal up a little bit because if he has switched to HE, he can take me out of the game. No, still shooting AP. Still almost took me out of the game. I think it might be smart for me to go dark here. Count on my torpedoes to do some work. Now the bad guys have kind of clawed their way back into this. You can see we're down to 6 ships, they're down to 4. But the Yamato is, well, he's in big trouble. And these torpedoes are so fast, it's really, really hard for him to avoid them. There's another flood. Kind of this entire line, at least in my opinion, is really good at kind of that proverbial death of 1,000 cuts.
Victory is in sight.
You can see he moved his guns. He's got his guns aimed ahead of him. And that's my opportunity to get my guns working again. I do land another torpedo, but no flood. So I'm just going to be trying to get a fire started. Now it looks to me like he's going to go nose into the island here to avoid Prince Eugen. So I'm going to throw the torpedoes out where I think he's going to stop. He still eats 3 torpedoes from Prince Eugen, and he is sunk. Okay, so as mentioned, reload on these guns pretty darn good. You're putting out a lot of shells, and the longer range allows me to stay farther away, which allows me to dodge more shells. I mean, I didn't dodge all the shells. Obviously, I had to take significant damage there, but you get the idea. Now this game is really all over but the shouting. We've got 2 caps, they've only got 1, and they're down to 3 ships, and we've still got 6. There's really not any conceivable way that they are going to return from this and manage a win. But I do think this was a good game, and it could have gone either way. I have to again tip my hat to our gearing player, who bravely stayed at the fight at Bravo Cap and kept the bad guys from securing it. Enemy Stalingrad takes out our Grosser Kurfürst, keeping them in the game a little bit longer. And I'm going to rush in here and see if I can't land torpedoes on the Stalingrad, because it looks to me like he's not going to angle to me. He's just keeping his nose pointed to, well, kind of between the 3 ships, the Des Moines, Prinz Eugen, and Bismarck. Now he's got long-range radar, of course, but if I can get in here close like this, he can't back away from the torps entirely. But in DC, it'll take him a little bit to get his turrets turned. So I should be okay. I don't think Stalingrad has any chance of getting his turrets turned this way. No, he's not. Maybe I can start a fire. And now I'll go dark again. I'm just using the island to keep me unseen. I expect Brindisi to have his guns aimed right at me when he comes around the other side of that island over there. And I'm just hoping I'll land some torps on the Stalingrad. This game is really all over. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything that I missed that you'd like me to cover, just comment below. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.